Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome. I'm your host of this series, Let Me Tell You More, and today I'm here to interview the artist Amber Noelle.
Hi, I am Amber Noelle, and I am going to tell you more about me as a creative entrepreneur and filmmaker.
Okay, so first, how would you describe yourself as an artist?
I would describe myself as someone who is flexible, fluid, and creative, somebody who thinks outside of the box, who doesn't like to live behind the white picket fence. I like to do things that are extraordinary, things that normal people probably wouldn't even strive to pursue or do. So that's pretty much how I am as an artist. I'm very in depth. I'm very descriptive. I'm very precise. I'm a perfectionist. So anything that I do, I like to perfect and be great at it.
And how long have you been doing this? Like, when did you start?
Okay. There are a lot of things that I've picked up and started. As an artist, I've been drawing, and you can say art to me is beauty, and art can be found in several things. It has several different mediums, like from painting to drawing to music to filmmaking to writing. So I do all of that. Actually, I've done all of that before. As a child, I would draw. I started off drawing with color pencils and then painting with watercolors and acrylic paints. And then I've gone to chalk. And then I've moved to playing an instrument and getting very well at it and acquainted with playing the flute and the piccolo and some guitar.
Wow.
And so it's like I've always been an artsy person. And then as when I progressed to being about 13 years old and up, I really, really loved fashion design and designing my own clothes and elegant dresses. And then I moved into modeling. So it's kind of like a phase type of thing, a metamorphosis that I've gone through. And at this point, since I've joined college or went through college, I wanted to express myself more. So I chose journalism, something more, I guess, practical,
Mhm.
where I could express myself through writing, through reading, writing, and just written works and broadcast. So I got my degree in broadcast journalism, and now you just kind of put all of that entire medley into a pot, and that's what kind of like defines me in a sense. And I pursue anything. Like I can I love to cook too, so cooking is an art to me.
Which, by the way, guys, we will get into that in just a minute.
Yes. I love there's a science behind it, cooking, and I've learned that through the chefs I've met with who've shown me how to cook and do certain things and make their cuisine. There's a science behind of it. There's beauty in cooking as well. So in every little thing that I try and pursue, including filmmaking, which is something I've recently gotten into in at the end of 2019. I've gotten into filmmaking and screenwriting, and up until today, um, we're still progressing. I've come a long way as a filmmaker. I'm actually going to be behind the camera as well as in front of the camera as an actress, per usual, and of course, producing those things. So I write, I produce, I direct all of it.
I wanted to ask, when did you start acting?
Oh gosh, I like to lead this back to zodiac signs because I am so much into astrology, right? I am a Pisces, and they say that Pisces, number one thing is that they're very imaginative and they're great. They make great singers and actresses because they fantasize about what things could be, like the idealistic things. And for me, acting is an expression of your dreams, your fantasies, being able to characterize feelings. And as a Pisces, we swim in our emotions and feelings. So being able to express different feelings to me, it kind of is a part of my nature in a sense. I find pleasure in doing those things. Even in high school, I joined a debate team, and the debate team um, also included actors, and people who were in theater, and they would do original oratories, they would do duets, and they would act. And so I really loved that. I was even told that even though I love modeling, they say you're too short to model, you're 5'6", but Hollywood would love you as an actress. Are you interested in that? I immediately and abruptly said no because I was upset. But if I were to take that back, I should have taken the opportunity. But you know what? I don't regret anything at this point in time. I can still grow and become an actress, and that's something I'm working towards. I've even had a actor. His name is. He's even a producer now. His name is Andre Gordon Official. If you see him, he played off of this cartoon television show. I forgot what it's called, but the key character, she's like dressed in some kind of ladybug suit. She's like a cartoon, an animated cartoon or something, CGI character. And he voices one of the characters in that show. I forgot the name of it. I wish I knew it. But he said, Amber, you are a super mommy, a model, an actor, and you do all of these things. You need to speak to my producers or send in your information, like become a talent, be represented, because I feel like you'd make it in this industry. I've heard this so many times. It's just ridiculous. I'm really working on my work, my craft as an actress and as a filmmaker. So yeah.
When did you start modeling?
17. I I was 17 and I first worked with a photographer. Her name was Eva, and her company, I think she had just started up. She was a startup, was named Bokeh Amor Photography. Bokeh Amor Photography. And so she would take photos of me, and I just really like seeing myself in the moving, and it's so much beauty in photography. People may say it's vain, which it can be vain in a sense, but seeing yourself, the beauty in yourself through the lens, to me is something that you should be able to embrace. And that's pretty much how I started. Then it shot off. Like I had photographers wanting to work with me, local photographers wanting to build their resume and their portfolio. And since then, I just gained more confidence in front of the lens.
Was modeling what you wanted to do?
It was for a while. When I turned 17, my my dad, I love him to death. He's very practical, and so he looked at modeling as though it was something that's never going to work out for me. Like, you can't make money off of modeling. And so to me that felt like a dream crusher, but I'm so persistent and consistent in fulfilling my dreams. I nearly would never let anyone tell me no. Like, I would never let anyone tell me otherwise. And so I tried out for America's Next Top Model 3 years in a row, and I got rejected. I even went to
Wow.
I think I went to another America's Next Top Model or some type of model tryout, and they said, you're just too short, but you're beautiful, but you're just too short.
Wow.
And you'd be a great actress. Would you be interested in that? I'd love to try to help sign you there. And I was like, no.
Oh, so
So
you had somebody who was really going to actually like
yeah, they
help
were
to
going to
push
work
you.
with me. They
And
had
then
producers and directors there.
and then when you started acting, then you were like, man, I should have just said yeah.
I should have just said yes, but I don't know what that path would have been. So I'm actually thankful for the path I've gone down. I feel like
Mhm.
I've learned so much, not even when it comes to filmmaking, but as an entrepreneur, I've learned so much. Someone who is into digital marketing and everything, I've learned so much. So I would never trade that in for that moment ever. So I don't regret any of that.
For the people who don't know you, go ahead and tell them who you are in terms of like what projects you have and things going on.
Who I am, I believe what social media sees me as, if you don't know me personally, what really went viral is me cosplaying as Starfire. And if you're a comic nerd, I have several comic nerds who just love seeing me cosplay. And I'm not really a cosplayer. I always say, look, I'm a model, a content creator, or whatever, who loves to dress up, and I love to act, number one. And I'm working on my own web series that's inspired after Marv Wolfman and George Perez, Teen Titans. character Starfire, but I don't think they understand. Which it doesn't matter. I love the love that they give to me, but
And by the
I
way,
don't necessarily.
guys, let me tell you right now, what she's talking about is really good. This series is really good. Like I watched it, some of it, and I was like, I want to see the next episode. What made you care enough about Starfire to make
Okay,
that series?
that's a great question. And you know what? That really caused a lot of controversy, and I think this is the time to clear everything up. Actually, why when I was in high school, I'm pretty sure people who were my age, they saw the television show, the original television show for the Teen Titans. And this is the television show that aired on Cartoon Network, where they
Right.
had the young Teen Titans, not the Teen Titans Go, but the original Teen Titans, the OG ones.
And I
And
loved it. Yes.
I loved it. I was obsessed with that show. And I
Me
didn't
too.
know that the comics existed before that. So I was very young.
Yeah.
And so I fell in love with Starfire and Robin. I love them together. And, I could relate to Starfire a whole lot. And so that's how I fell in love with that character. This is like years ago. I think I'm 29 now. So that was like, God, wow, over 10 years ago. Gosh, I'm old. But I was young. I was about 16 years old or whatever when I saw the television show and loved watching it. So I've always wanted to. There was this thing called cosplay, and people started getting into cosplaying and whatnot. And it became a point where I wanted to cosplay Starfire when I was young. And so as I've gotten older, right, I realized, I said, I think after I saw that Batman movie with Christian Bale in it, and I heard one of my family members or friends say, yeah, that's based off the comics or whatever, Warner Bros. I said, whoa, whoa, comics? Listen to me, comics? My dad's like, my family is like, yeah, we used to read comic books back in the day. And so I'm like, okay. So I went to a comic book store and saw all the comic issues that were written. And now I see about the Amazing Spider-Man and um, the people who wrote these comic books. And so now I look back, okay, so who wrote the comic for Starfire? Who drew her? And so I looked up Marv Wolfman and George Perez just some years ago, and I saw the character and read more about her. And I said, wow, she is so much like me in a sense, where when I was in my younger ages, how I, could understand her innocence and her character, her type, and everything when you read about Starfire. So when I found out the year before, or they actually called out who was going to add. We've been hearing rumors, I guess, a few years back that they were going to make a Teen Titans show, live
Mm-hmm.
action.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I heard that, I said, "Oh my God, I want to be Starfire." Okay. So I was like, because I said before that though, before that moment, before I heard that rumor, I was already planning to cosplay her. I had a mood board and everything together. And then the moment that I was working on getting my cosplay together, they announced the people who were cast as the characters. And then so Anna Jo came up. And that was the same time where I actually got a fan photo of myself done as Starfire, and it went viral on social media. That's how people kind of like knew about everything that I was doing as Starfire. And so people they had backlash. They were like, Anna Jo received backlash, and they gave me backlash saying I was hating on Anna Jo, and I was like, nope, I'm not hating on her. It's just that I love Starfire too. So I
Yeah.
decided I want to cosplay her and do artwork about her. So just to clear things up, being that it was around the same time that she was announced as Starfire, I already had projects going on with the character, so it has nothing to do with what happened with her casting. I actually love her as an actress, and so fast forward to now, I've gotten into screenwriting and producing films. And I said, well, how about this? People have been telling me, how about you do like a web series of Starfire? I want to see you dressed up as her. And so that's where I started writing script. And when COVID hit, I wrote my entire script for the first season, except the last two episodes. But the first season's done. And I had all that time to write the entire season. Now I'm at the point where I am actually getting my own camera equipment. I'm getting mentorship on how to use different settings and how to set up my equipment and whatnot. So I'm getting a lot of good info and people backing me up, especially cinematographers in the area where I live. So yeah, we're going back into production this summer. This series was inspired after that. And I've gotten amazing actors, people who are SAG eligible, people who are actually SAG actors, all kinds of stuff. So the support system is great. The fan base is great. They're just waiting for me to drop something. So hold on tight. We're trying to make it happen. It just costs a lot of money. It does.
So I think right now is a perfect segue since you brought up the pandemic. How have you been doing during the pandemic? Like, did it stop? Because I know a lot of actors and artists and everything that it totally just stalled them so bad. And they were like, I had this opportunity and that opportunity, but then the pandemic hit. Like, they hate the pandemic so much, they don't even want to say the word pandemic.
I feel them on that as far as like that being their career, their job. The opportunity to work is like cut off. But it's crazy how I took for when it came to the pandemic, things were actually in reverse for me. Like when I got laid off my job, it hurt my feelings. I was crying, but it was also a door that opened for me because my job, I worked so many hours, like I worked so much, and I had no time for my personal life. So when I was laid off and then put on, of course, um, what do they call it? What the government assistance or whatever to help. What is it?
Unemployment?
Unemployment. Huh? Unemployment. Yeah, when I was put on unemployment, I was pretty much at home, and it gave me time to focus on my family, number one, and then focus on what I want to do as a writer, as a filmmaker. So I just wrote scripts. And I brought together a team of people who would work with me. And it turned out that, some things worked, some things didn't work out. But I had a vision, and the vision that I had required that. Have you ever heard the saying where nobody does it better than yourself?
Yes.
If you're going to get things done, you're going to have to do it yourself.
Right.
That's the mindset that I came with. And so now I'm at the point where I am going to film all my work. I'm going to produce it. I'm going to be the one to know how to film and edit my work and do the sound, understand all of that as a filmmaker. So that's what we're working on now. It's a new horizon for me this year.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to see those changes this summer in the work because I'll be behind the camera.
You've done filmmaking in the past already, right?
I haven't started as a filmmaker until 2020. I want to say officially it's 2020.
And
Now I'm actually behind the camera this year, but I began doing, as a journalist, we have to learn how to use a camera.
right.
So as far as technology is concerned, I've already been familiar with technology, using a camera, the general things
Mm-hmm.
and whatnot. So it's nothing new except for me being a cinematographer. That's new to me.
Right.
Learning to use those different functions and learning aperture and things like that.
Now, what made you want to become a filmmaker? Because is it just, that natural progression that you talked about that you've been going through with your life, where you were acting, so then you decided, hey, I'd like to see what it's like behind the camera, or was it a certain idea you had or event that happened that made you say, hey, I can do this?
That's a good question. I've always liked things related to entertainment and being in the limelight in a sense,
Mm-hmm.
like entertainment. And I think that's what really pushed me into this direction is because I like entertainment. I like the arts.
Right.
I like theatrical things. And so it kind of pretty much warped itself into this moment in time.
Right. Like all of the other things did for you.
Yes. So it's kind of like the little, this big monster started off as a little mustard seed and grew
Grew
into,
into the 5'6" being that you are.
yes, pretty much.
So, like, what type of projects can we expect from you?
Ooh,
Whether
this year.
filmmaking or anything.
Oh my goodness, that's a doozy right there because I have a partner now and her name is Moya and we recently worked on throwing a fashion show. I'm not sure if you heard of it. It's called Starstruck. And so we honestly then the sole intention of Starstruck was to raise money for our production Starfire.
Right.
So we raised money and I got about half of it for the camera and we're working on the rest. But we hosted an expo, a fashion expo. It's kind of like you get the best of both worlds. I get to fulfill what I love in fashion and I fulfill what I love in filmmaking, right?
Yeah, right.
So we started with Starstruck and now we're at a point where we're assessing things and trying to figure out how we can make things better, especially in the South. How we can make Starstruck Expo a big expo for creatives to come together and express themselves. So this is
Nice.
definitely going to cater to this entire podcast. The reason why your podcast exists is about coming together and, bringing together creatives and artists alike at Starstruck Expo to experience what it's like to network with these people.
Right.
So that's something we should expect next year in 2021. We're planning this month moving forward for um, Starstruck. So
Hmm.
that's one project. We have, I also have my own cooking business that pretty much emerged about 3.5 weeks ago.
Oh, you know what? Let's go ahead right now and actually talk about this specific thing. You have to tell them because you already told me, but you have to tell them how this started because it's just a very brilliant and funny story.
Oh yeah, it is. It really is. So the name of my newly found business is called Lit Love Shack.
Hmm.
And Lit Love Shack is it's intended to be a shack, a small little love shack where you have nothing but good tasting wings and fries and some good
Hmm.
American Caribbean food. But it started off where I actually was just craving some wings. And I remember my mom telling me, she said, "Oh yeah, this lady can make some this really good lemon pepper wings." And so I tried her wings and I was like, okay, they're pretty good, but I can make them better. So, and I don't mean to down anybody. I just know I'm very confident in my cooking when it comes to certain things.
Hmm.
So I said, let me just go ahead and go to the store and get some lemons and whatever I gotta get to make my wings. First thing I did when I walked into Walmart, the lemons were just standing right there, like sitting right there in front of me, the produce aisle. And so I went to the lemons, took a snippet video of it, bam. And then I just started piecing everything together and I made a TikTok. And then that's when I got feedback when people were like, you should sell these wings. And then my roommate was like, Amber, these are like the freaking best wings I've ever had. I said, for real? Yeah, those are the best lemon pepper wings I ever had, man. I've never marveled over lemon pepper wings, but these lemon pepper wings, they good. So I started selling my wings and people started buying my plates for real. And I was like, bro, for real, they're really good. And so, yeah, that's when I started. They said, man, you need to start a business. And that's when I started running with it. I started doing more videos, TikToks, presenting everything. I started a page, everything. And I just recently, I got my food handler's license so I can be certified to handle food and serve food. And then I'm looking into getting my business license and everything's just going pretty well with the marketing and the branding. It's just perfect. It's simple and it's perfect. So hopefully we'll have a food truck soon. But you
Yeah.
know what? I never expected to go in the restaurant route. So I don't want to do this as my main job. I look at it as something that's supplemental and something I love to do as far as cooking is concerned.
Right.
So I'm not trying to be behind a food truck 24/7 cooking. That's not what I want to do.
Yeah.
I like filmmaking, I like entertainment, I like modeling, I like all of that.
Yeah.
You see? So that's how that baby came to be. The name though, me and my team, we were trying to come up with names. My husband, my roommate, and we were like, I was like, it got to be something simple. It's lit. It's lit. It's got to be lit. And then so I added Love Shack because when I first went to St. Thomas, Virgin Islands, um, I saw that there was this little shack on an island, and it was called Duffy's Love Shack, and everybody loved Duffy's in St. Thomas Virgin Islands. And when I went there, it was very small. It was very intimate in a sense, and very like cool. Like you and me on the side of the beach, chilling, hookah, all of that. So I said, that's the kind of feel I want from my business,
Right.
and I named it Lit Love Shack, and I named it kind of after the song Love Shack. So
And I do know that song.
made me
Totally,
feel, yeah.
totally understand that. So, children, when your parents say that your TikTok videos don't matter, let them know they
I
do.
do.
Okay, so another thing, like, do you have a favorite thing that you've done that no matter what else you've done so far, you still look back on that thing and you're like, hey, when I did that, that was nice.
I don't know if there's one thing because there are several things. There are several things that I've done that I could look back at and say, wow, that was lit. That was hot. That was dope. That was nice. When it comes to photo shoots, when it comes to parties, even my fashion show, acting, there are key moments where it's like, wow, that was really nice, nicely executed. That turned out really well. The impact was great.
Like, you did that,
So
or you helped to do that.
yes, and I have to say for that fashion show, it wasn't just me. Even though people say ultimately, you're the one that's the drive of your dreams and aspirations because you're the one that you have to keep it moving. You have
Mhm.
to keep things moving in motion. But there are a lot of hands and people that were involved in that fashion show that I could like bear it. Shoot, so many names to name who really contributed towards that fashion show, down to my models, my best friends, who stayed up till like 4 or 5 in the morning, like my best friend Markel, Moya. We stayed up till like 4 or 5 in the morning doing setups and pre-setups to make sure that the stage was going to look nice, things like that. Like I've had people just promoting, like we were promotion, marketing, all of that, setup, practice, all of that. It's a lot of people that contributed towards its success. So
Right. Guys, I have to tell you this now. The Starfire series is so good.
thank you so much. I'm very critical of my work, and every time I make something, I sit back and say, okay, let's tear this thing down. Because honestly, I have to be honest, I truly felt like it wasn't what I wanted it to be entirely. It was really good. It was good, but it was good. But I feel like what I want,
It could be a lot better for
trust me,
you.
like I said, I'm a perfectionist. And trust me, this summer is going to be amazing because I'm going to be behind the camera. I'm going to make sure that my sound, everything is 100% like, and I will learn from my mistakes for sure. So, yeah,
and
expect so
your
much better.
and your editing is brilliant. Like,
It's not my editing. Trust me. It
oh well,
was
whoever edited it.
Byro Kearney. Byro Kearney did the first series episode and everything when it comes to the editing and everything. So I give that credit to him. Now,
Oh,
what you will see this summer will be me and Moya. So that's when you can talk about our stuff.
like it looks like it was planned out for years in advance. So if it's going to be even better this summer, whoa, your stuff might look like movie quality
I want
this
it to look
summer
like movie quality. That's the goal.
because it already looks like really good show on TV quality. You know what I mean? Like
Thank
it's
you.
really good from the casting and everything. Is brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Like you write the
I
film.
do.
Okay, talk to me about your writing process.
Whew. So when I was younger, my aunt and even family members, they thought that Amber loves to read, and I do love to read. So it started off reading. I get a lot of my writing inspiration from reading.
Right.
And in journalism, they tell us to read. Even in school, when I was in accelerated courses, I would read. My parents would make me read over the summer and read extra books. And so that's how I kind of got into reading. But I never liked fiction books. I would tell everybody I don't like reading fiction books. I like reading fact. I like reading more so science type books. Not well, I have Einstein's theory of relativity. I have that. I like reading historical books.
He really,
I like fiction books too, but when I was forced to read them, I have to say one of my favorite fiction books, it was Flowers for Algernon. And
no, that's one I
I,
haven't read. I
that's a
have,
touching book. It's kind of sad. It's sad. But um I feel like I fantasize and I imagine so much that I don't need
maybe
to
that's why
read.
you, maybe that's why, maybe that's why. That makes sense though. That really does.
But
Because
hey,
then I think that when you, like you said, you fantasize so much that if you're reading somebody else's fantasizing and fairy tales, it's like, then you're overdoing it with the fantasizing.
yeah, yes,
Yeah, I totally,
exactly.
that makes sense.
But yeah, that's how I got into writing. So after
Mm.
reading, I would write as a little girl, I would write a ton of comics. And my first comic was Two Spies and a Pie. It didn't make sense, but that's what I did. And so I got older and started writing more. I would oh, Dante's Inferno was pretty good too. I would get a vocabulary list and whatnot from my professors and whatnot, and I would research every word in the book, and I would write, just write, stream of consciousness writing, practice on my writing, read other works that use nice elaborate words and have a different style of writing, learn the type of writing and reporting. That's what we had to learn in journalism, the martini glass, the different types, and so documentaries, watching different types of documentation and how people told stories, I would really give into that kind of stuff because I like how a person tells a story. How you reel me in into mind gripping type of content is how it inspires my work as well. So over the years, after watching work like Steven Spielberg, and I love Jordan Peele,
Me
he's got
too.
into the industry. I love his work. One of my scripts is pretty much modeled kind of after his style. And the reason why I love Jordan, like he and Peel, their show, they they make little comedic scripts that pretty much give way or give insight subliminally into like messages that happen in everyday life. It kind of gives
Yes.
you insight. Yeah, I like that. I like things that make me think. I like things that provoke me to thought provoking things. So
Mm.
I like to think. Um, so I want people to think when they read or look at my stories that's being told. I don't like anything. I do not like anything that's typical.
Right.
That's pretty much can be anticipated. So yeah, that's how I really got into writing. I could actually express my thoughts on paper to my audience, like
Right.
express my fantasies, what I think about, some secrets in code to them
Right.
through my
Yeah.
writing. So
If your life was a book, what would it be called?
oh, that's a good question. Oh my God. If it was a book, would it be called?
Hmm.
That is a great question to the point where I have to literally think about it the entire night and you'll have me dreaming about it because I don't know how to answer this question. Uh my life was a I feel like naming it some sort of like big ambiguous word. I don't know. But
Oh,
I
so
don't know
it'd
what
be
that
like
word would be.
supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
It would be something that no one would think to have.
Or understand.
Yeah. But one word would describe me. It would be one word. I don't know what that word would be, but it's going to be one word that's pretty much grandiose. Maybe Amber. Amber Noelle, maybe, because I know what my name means. So Amber Noelle.
Sounds good to me. It's your book.
Yeah.
Where can the viewers go to find your past work or current projects?
Well, I recently shut down my website because hosting was costing some money and I wanted to focus my efforts on other projects and business endeavors. But you can find me on Instagram for the most part. You can find my personal page at official Amber Ali, ALE. So it's official Amber ALE. And then you can find my Starfire series page, the official Starfire series on Instagram. You can also find my Lit Love Shack on there. Just put Lit Love Shack in Instagram. You may also find my Starfire web series on YouTube. It's called the Starfire fan series.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you can find most of the content. Even if you Google Amber Noelle or Amber Alejandro, you're going to see Starfire pop up. Amber Noelle, you're going to see Starfire pop up. Or Amber Noelle, Starfire. Well, there she goes. So people have said, and I think my husband expressed it best, including some other people. It said that Amber is the most known, undiscovered. She's popular, but she's not popular. People know me, but not everybody knows me.
Right.
So it's like a hidden gem, I would say. Someone that's on the come up that nobody entirely knows until they really see the work release. So yeah,
right. So you literally are a hidden gem.
Yeah, you could say that. Of the many hidden gems that are out there, because there are several people out there.
That is true. Speaking of which, let me go ahead and ask you, what advice would you give to struggling artists out there who may be watching this interview?
Struggling artist. And whatever you are pursuing, I always keep in mind that, and I kept this to heart from day one. Whatever you do, you could do anything you want as long as you put your mind to it. So as long as you put the effort, the dedication, the proper research into the craft that you're doing and how to make it great and how to perfect it, and you create a plan to execute while using your work as an artist or trying to perfect your work, you can do it. You can fulfill those dreams. You just have to persevere. You have to have your mind set on getting it done, no matter what anybody says, because there will be a lot of people discouraging you, like they've done me and continue to do with me. But I refuse to recant on anything I believe. I will continue until I actually achieve. So you have to have the will and the strong mindset.
Powerful words. Thank you for letting me interview you for my channel. And for everyone out there, I hope that watching this interview inspired the artist in you.
Bye. Thank you for having me.